Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us in today's webinar, Exploring ISSUP's Online Learning Hub, that we have put together for all our regional training providers in general and those in Africa in particular. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Choong from the Colombo Plan Drug Advisory Program. For those of you whom I have not had the opportunity to meet and work with since I came on board in 2014, I manage and coordinate prevention-related initiatives with our implementing partners and stakeholders. I am your moderator for this webinar. Before we get started, allow me to go over a few items so you know how to participate in today's event. First, as part of our Getting to Know You session, please type into the chat pane of the control panel your full name, the organization you are affiliated with, and your country of residence. Secondly, you have the opportunity to submit text questions to any of our presenters by typing your questions into the question box in your control panel. Feel free to send in your questions at any time during the presentations. We will collect these and I will bring them up during the Q&A session at the end of the presentations. To start off, kindly be informed that due to a last-minute conflict with another virtual meeting, Dr. Nathalie Panaboke is unable to deliver her welcome address today. She sends everyone her warm wishes and has requested that I stand in for her. So, here's my welcome address. Again, I thank each and every one of you for being here with us today. We are indeed very pleased to be able to welcome those of you who have been with us for several years now, as well as those who are new to our training providers community. For the record, in 2016, Colombo Plan initiated the Education Providers Initiative that primarily aimed to disseminate training on our universal curricula, in addition to enhancing the professional development of those seeking to become certified professionals in the DDR field and those who want to maintain their certification. As many of you are already aware, in June 2020, we updated the system where all the existing education providers became collectively known as training providers and categorized based on organization type. 1, training providers. 2, colleges and universities. 3, organizations working in the DDR field that conduct training events of civil society. And 4, government agencies. In compliance with this update, all existing and new colleges and universities come under the purview of ICU DDR, while designated regional coordinators from Colombo Plan and NRC oversee all other training provider organizations. The contact information of these regional coordinators will be posted on the chat shortly for your easy reference. Indeed, we are very proud to inform you that to date, we have a total of 83 training providers worldwide registered with us. That is 29 in Asia and the Pacific, 48 in Africa, congratulations, 5 in US, and 1 in Latin America. We are very confident that these numbers will increase in the coming weeks, months, and years. Interestingly, if you have been following our recent developments within the Drug Advisory Program, you would probably know that our latest addition to the Universal Curriculum. For those of you who are not aware, we already have the online instructor-led and self-led courses for some of the prevention and treatment training curricula. Several of these courses are already available and ready to accept training requests, while others will soon follow. do visit www.issup.net/training/online learning hub to avail of the latest scheduled courses. To support and facilitate your future training plans for online courses on the universal curricula, in collaboration with ISSUP and CICAD, we have put together today's webinar, Exploring ISSUP's Online Learning Hub, that aims to introduce you to and familiarize you with what the Hub has to offer. With this, I wish you a successful webinar experience. So now back to my moderator role. To continue, in the next 40 minutes, our presenters will take you on a quick tour of ISSUP's Online Learning Hub, where our instructor-led and self-led online courses are hosted, followed by a 20-minute Q&A session. Let me now introduce you to our international panel of presenters who have joined in from different parts of the globe. Topping the list, we have Jack Tonkin, Senior Website Developer, International Society of Substance Use Professionals, who is standing in for Joanna Travis Roberts. Before joining ISSUP in 2015, Jack spent most of his professional life building websites to help connect and share knowledge between the many talented and passionate people like you working internationally in drug demand reduction. We are very happy to have him join us today from the UK to lead our tour of ISSUP's Online Learning Hub. Our second presenter is Becky Vaughn, Director of the Global Center for Credentialing and Certification, or popularly known as GCCC. Home based in Washington, D.C., she is a leader in the substance use disorders field with over 40 years experience working in the addiction field, focused on public policy training and best practices in prevention, treatment, and recovery support services at the local, state, and national level. With her recent involvement in the development of the UTC to a self-led version, she will be shedding light on these courses as well as provide us with information on how to apply to take the online credentialing examinations. Proceeding to the next agenda item on online instructor-led courses, we have Joe Rivas, Program Officer, Latin America and Caribbean Training Dissemination, DAP Field Office in Santiago, Chile. As the project lead for the transformation of the in-person universal curricula to an online version, she will show us how to create and register an online course. Finally, we have Dr. Andreas Hein, Evidence-Based Prevention Consultant for CICAD OS, home-based in Santiago, Chile. He oversees the design, implementation, and assessment of remote training adaptations for the UPC practitioners' core course, school, family, and M&E tracks, and will share with us several navigation tools for online courses, as well as some strategies on how to supervise learners registered in these courses. Now, without further ado, we will turn the time over to our first presenter, Jack Tonkin, Senior Website Developer, International Society of Substance Use Professionals. Over to you, Jack.
I'm sorry, microphone fail. Thank you, Joe. So I'm sharing with you the ISSUP website homepage, which is the starting point for interactions with the Online Learning Hub, both for training providers and ultimately for trainees. The Online Learning Hub sits within the professional development section of the ISSUP website, and it is the first item in the menu and listed on the home page of that section. When we get into the Online Learning Hub, it welcomes visitors, and it goes on to explain that we provide both instructor-led courses, which is the courses that you will be running, hopefully, and also self-led courses, which my colleague Becky is going to talk about a little bit later. Within these sections that expand, we would have room for advertising any courses that were open to participants registering as regular ISSUP members. We also offer the ability for you to host courses where you have previously identified participants via some kind of external process, and you could then share a registration link directly with them. I'll show you more about that later. We also provide some guidance for trainees on how to register for courses. And there's a little amount of information on this page, and then there's a second page which is linked at the bottom there, and also in the menu for all visitors, explaining that they have to be an ISSUP member to take a course. It links them to the membership form, which is a one-page form for them to fill in, or the login, so that they can come back as once they're logged in. We also explain that some courses are closed to pre-identified trainees, and others are open for anyone to sign up for, and then explain the registration process. As a training provider, what you want to be able to do is to schedule courses. So if I switch to my other tab where I'm logged in as myself, you can see now that I have more options in the left-hand menu in the professional development section. So I can, there is a link for the training provider course request. So this is where you would go to request a course be set up by our partners at Healthy Knowledge, who host the courses. This page explains the cost implications of having a course instance hosted, if you don't already have a agreement in place for that, what steps you need to do to follow, and then there is a simple form for you to fill in to request that the course is scheduled. You need to provide the name and email address of the trainer or trainers, as many as you need, your name and email address as the coordinator. You then need to pick the course that you wish to train. So far available, we have the first 3 courses from the UPC Managers and Supervisors series, as well as the core course from the UPC Practitioners series, and the SOGI course, the Sexual Orientation and Gender Identity course from the Specialised series. There are more courses that are being piloted currently and coming online. My colleagues will mention that later on in the webinar. All of the courses that we have available at the moment are in both English and Spanish. Select the language that you wish to run the course in. You should then also indicate the start and end dates, the number of participants. You should select your training provider from the list of training providers, and also indicate that you understand the cost implications and provide a contact for billing. When you submit that form, it sends an email to our colleague at Healthy Knowledge, who hosts the host the trainings, who will be in touch with you to then organise any further details. Finally, as a training provider, you have access to the list of scheduled courses. Currently, this is still under development. At the moment, it lists all of the courses that we have on the system without any kind of search or filtering capability, and we're still figuring out the details for retiring and old courses and removing pilot courses from there. So this will become more useful for you to find the link to your course, and also to take a link to the course once it's been set up on Healthy Knowledge. The final thing that I wanted to talk to you about is registering for a course. In order to do that, I'll use a test user who hasn't registered for any courses yet. This user, I'm going to sign up for one of the self-led courses because they're available to anyone. I'll show you how simple that process is, getting a password set up on Healthy Knowledge and logging in to take the course, and then I'll show you that is then recognized on their ISSUP member profile. So if I come into the professional development section, again, there is a link for the UTC Self-Led Courses, and we can see that currently 5 of the courses are available. We'll start with course 1, and as I'm signed in as an ISSUP member, there's just a link there for me to enroll on the course. This takes me to a page on Healthy Knowledge where I can create a password. Everything else is set up for me. My email address to log in is the same as the one that I was using for my ISSUP member profile. Oh, okay. Let's use the one he suggested for me. Excuse my demo failure. Let's actually copy the password that I've used. So if I succeed in actually remembering the password that I typed into the first form, I can now log into Healthy Knowledge, and I get a very brief welcome tour showing me how to find the courses. And you can see that I'm taken directly to the UTC1 course page, where I'm invited to join a network on the ISSUP website and to take the pre-test. If I quickly come back to the ISSUP website and go to the UTC Self-Led Courses page, it now tells me that I've enrolled on the course and provides me with a link straight back to the course on Healthy Knowledge. The final thing that I wanted to show you is that for a instructor-led course, in fact for a closed instructor-led course, if I know that the instructor will have a a URL provided to them on the ISSUP website. They all look like issup.net/training/online learning hub/course/ a number, but that's only a technical detail. You'll then have a link that you can send to your trainees, and they'll be able to access that page in order to enroll themselves on the training. This is one of the pilot trainings for the WISE course, which will be coming online later this year. If I visit it as an unregistered user, I get a prompt at the bottom of the page to log in with my ISSUP membership or become a member to enroll. If I click through to log in as my demo user again, it'll take me back to the page, and there's an enroll button, just the same as there was for a open enrollment course. So I think that's everything that I wanted to cover. Thank you very much.
Okay, great. Again, as Joe mentioned, I'm Becky Vaughn. I'm director of the Global Center for Credentialing and Certification, or GCCC, and I'm glad you've tuned in because I love talking about the new self-led online curriculum and the certification for professionals working in the field. So exactly what is an International Certified Addiction Professional, or ICAP? I'm particularly glad you asked. Credentials and certifications mean different things in different countries, but we use the terms interchangeably. A credential or certification is issued by a third party with authoritative recognition and provides proof of an individual's qualification or competence in a given subject. GCCC is the credentialing arm of the drug advisory program of the Colombo Plan. We set minimum standards, provide experience and training verification, along with appropriate exams so that governments and other employers know they are hiring and utilizing the most qualified professionals. GCCC currently offers 4 levels of certification in treatment, requiring different levels of education, training, and experience. Our prevention credential is in the piloting process. Prevention specialty areas or endorsements are also being developed with their own set of training and experience requirements, as well as appropriate exams. Our recovery support credential is in the final updating process. Both of these will be available in the next 6 months. So let's look at the process. It always seems to start with passionate people, those people wanting to make a difference in the lives of others. Next, we require minimum education levels and training in substance use disorders. While there are many training curriculums that support addiction standards, you probably already know that the universal curricula has been developed by teams of international experts in the field of prevention, treatment, and recovery support. So we're going to look at following up what Jack had to say. Since the UC has traditionally been offered in an in-person setting, we are now converting it into a self-led or trainer-led online versions. You'll hear more about the trainer-led versions in a little bit. So exactly how does it work? You've learned about ISSUP's Online Learning Hub, so let's look specifically at the self-led courses. Once you've enrolled, as Jack showed you, you will see this message and you can click on that and it will take you directly to Healthy Knowledge. Again, if this is your first time, you'll see instructions, but assuming you've already done all of the setting the password, you will go ahead and log right in. And voila, you will be at the courses. I do want to point out and note that the availability of technical support, if you have any problems or questions, is right there, and it will instruct you on how you can reach out if you're having any problems. Scrolling down, you'll find the introduction with some very important information. It points out that the course is designed to be completed at your convenience according to your own timeline. That's one of the beauties of the self-led course. You can work it according to your availability at whatever works with your job, with your other activities. There is no time limit to finish it. We do ask you to take the pre and the post test. Both tests will help you evaluate your retention of the course content. Plus, it does give us some valuable information and data as we are constantly looking to ensure quality in all of these courses. There are instructions before modules and within the modules to help you move through the course. The system will save your position within the course, but each module must be completed before progressing to the next. If you wish to receive continuing education, and I put this in red to truly emphasize this so that you understand as training providers and can pass this on to your students, credit for the course is available, but you must complete the course assessment. The course assessment are the questions at the end of each module. You must obtain an overall score of 80% to receive the continuing education credit. You don't have to take the assessment, and if you don't, you will still see a completion message, but you will not receive a completion certificate. And finally, for the very best viewing experience, HEK recommends you take the course in Google Chrome. Moving down, as Jack pointed out, you can connect with other professionals taking this course via a UTC One network. And here is where you would take the pretest. And just below that, you'll find an outline of the course with all the modules. Please note, you will get a restricted message if you try to move on and skip the pretest. This is very important. Now you're good to go. Click here, make sure your settings allow pop-ups. There are more functions at the top, including closed captioning, a list of all the slides, as well as a place to exit at any point. We always recommend taking notes as you go along, just as you would in an in-person course, but you'll have opportunities to journal as you progress through the course. Turn up your volume, get set, and click here to continue. I want to point out what you'll find in each course. It'll give you an introduction of what to expect. It will list all the learning objectives up front. It will outline how the course is divided. Look for the yellow key icon because understanding these key points will help unlock larger ideas. You'll see the reference book icon when you need to look up a definition. There will be opportunities to check yourself along the way to see if you're understanding the material. The course will provide case studies with real scenarios to put your knowledge into practice. You can build, as I mentioned, an e-journal to include reflections, notes, and/or document your own goals and objectives. At the end, it will ask you for your own self-assessment on the material with opportunities to return to certain sections for more review. This online version offers lots of versatility. As I've pointed out, with the self-led version, you can do it at your own pace, in your own place, in your own timeline. But it can also be a group project, perhaps for staff at a treatment center to work on the courses together. It can be trainer supported. A trainer can use these self-led versions and then expand on that and broaden the scope. It can also be used in a hybrid model with a trainer so that some courses are done online before the group comes together in an in-person setting. And of course, it provides great review material for when you're ready to take the ICAP exam. So now that we've gotten our candidates trained, the professional process continues. We are looking for experience, the experience of working directly with clients and patients who have substance use disorder. The next step involves actually sitting for the exam. Traditionally, people have traveled to a specific location at a specific time to sit for the exam, either in a paper and pencil version or in a computer center. That's not always an option for everyone, especially during a pandemic. So we are now utilizing remote proctoring, allowing individuals to take the exam at their convenience using a computer with a camera, much like you're doing now by tuning into this webinar. Passing the exam completes the professional process of obtaining an ICAP credential, and the cycle continues. But in actuality, it never stops. Continuing education keeps professionals up to date on the latest modalities, along with providing services to broaden the clinical experience, allows the professional to be prepared for renewal of the credential every 3 years without having to take another exam. GCCC has certified just over 1,900 ICAP professionals in 73 countries. So hopefully by now I've convinced you of the importance of the ICAP. What's the next step? How does this work? We've designed our process to be as user-friendly as possible. All the needed information can be found at our website, globalccc.org, including a how-to video and our customer service portal to apply. It truly is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1, gather your documents. Document training with certificates and/or university transcripts. Document clinical experience with a letter from the supervisor. Complete the application and upload these supporting documents. And finally, sign and upload the GCCC Code of Ethics. Once approved, step 2 includes payment of the exam fee. This can also be done through our customer service portal. Once approved, step 3 includes an email that will go out with instructions on scheduling the exam with a live proctor who will watch the test taker remotely. You know, I can't see you, but if you're still here listening, here's how I picture you. True heroes of the community, ensuring that we have a trained workforce. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for continuing to be fearless and ready to take on the next new challenge. With all the changes going on in the world right now, We appreciate your flexibility and your versatility in making this happen. Don't hesitate to reach out to us. I appreciate your time and attention. Here's all the ways to connect with us. As I said, we love talking about the online curriculum and certifications. Thanks.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are. Now I'm going to present an overview of the online instructor-led courses. As Jack mentioned before, we have already transformed the UPC managers and supervisors, some courses of the UPC practitioners, SOGI and WISE courses right now. So along with my colleague, Dr. Andreas Hein from CICAD, we're going to present what the instructor-led courses are. My name is Jo Rivas. I'm Program Officer from Latin America and the Caribbean Training Dissemination for the Chile office. And I'm going to present the course creation and the registration process. Due to COVID-19, Colombo Plan and the CICAD have converted these UC courses to an online format. A total of 15 courses have been transformed already to an instructor-led modality in LMS Moodle. All courses are available in English and Spanish and are hosted on Healthy Knowledge website. From these 15 courses, one course from the practitioners, the UPC core, has been transformed, and family, school, and monitoring and evaluation are in the process of being transformed. The UPC managers and supervisors is transformed completely, but they're already available 3 of those courses: the Introduction to Prevention Sciences, Physiology and Pharmacology for Prevention Professionals, and also Monitoring and Evaluation for Prevention. The SOGI course is also available. It's just one course. It's not a series of courses. It's already available in Spanish and English. And also the women's treatment program, WISE, is already in piloting. There are 4 courses, and we are going to start the piloting next week for the 4 courses. So they will be available at the middle of the year. Now I'm going to show you a walkthrough for the instructional videos. All these courses are working with the instructional videos where a presenter is explaining all the slides of our original face-to-face courses. So there's like an online presentation with the person explaining every single slide, with some activities in the middle, like this one that is a checkup quiz to check how the learning is being at the moment. And there's also some slides that they can download. There's some certain material that participants can download, as well as some activities in group that could be done through forums or also offline. So every course has a different activities. The idea is not to get bored and so to be very dynamic and different one course from another. There are some wikis to develop. There are some projects to develop at the end. So every course has its particularities and some differences. In the case of these courses, we are combining the platform activities and with the instructor videos with synchronous sessions. So an average of 4 synchronous sessions per course are included in each course. So there participants can exchange ideas, reflections, debates, and also the trainers can reach the doubts or any kind of consultation from the participants. Register, the participant have to visit the online training hub at ISSUP website. they have to click on instructor-led courses to check what courses are available, as Jack shown previously. And they are going to find two options. The closed courses are courses that are being offered by the training providers. So you can gather a group of a specific cohort from a treatment center or municipality or whatever. You can join a group together and you organize this course and you create a private URL. And these attendees, these participants have to follow that link with all this information and instruction to register to enter to the course. So to register, they have to click on this URL that you are going to provide. They have to join ISSUP or login. This is only the first time. Then they have to create a password or login if they already have an account on the training platform, which is healthyknowledge.org. And then they can take the course. So the ISSUP login is only the first time. Then they have to go right directly to the Healthy Knowledge page. The other option are the open courses. So this can be also organized by the training providers, but this can be open to anyone to register. So the participants can go to the ISSUP website, see which courses are available to join openly, and they can click on the listed courses to register. Again, it's exactly the same process. They have to link to this open link, join ISSUP or login, create a password or login on the healthyknowledge.org, and then to take the course. So next, my colleague Andreas Hein, who is an expert consultant of the OEA CICAD, is going to explain you the navigation tools and the supervision and follow-up of the students. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. I'll briefly bring up my screen. So, okay, good morning, everybody, or good evening. I think it's in your case. In my case, it's morning still. So I will walk you through very briefly through one example of the courses. All the courses share more or less a similar structure with similar contents. Okay. And they share a similar way of structuring activities. So there's one of the key similarities. So we hope you always will feel that you are within a given course of the universal curriculum course. However, the kind of activities will vary and sometimes greatly depending on the learning objectives we have for every course. So I will show you very briefly the way we set up the UTC core course. The UTC core course is the first course of the implementer series, and it aims to prepare you on basic knowledge on prevention science, implementation cycle, and to begin to develop some key competencies and skills to develop projects and implementation projects of evidence-based interventions. Among these skills, for example, are we teach you how to look and where to look and how to select, for example, evidence-based interventions. You can look to either as a model or as a specific intervention you might want to choose to implement in your own community or your own implementation setting. So the core course, this is the landing page of the core course. So you will have this is the Spanish version. The English version is quite similar, so it shouldn't be a problem here. But you will have the landing page. We will have a brief description of the course, and on this side you can see all the sections you will be going through when taking this course. This course takes about 9 weeks. So you will have 7 weeks of self-learning and content activities, content-related activities like watching videos and other activities, some face-to-face meetings, and at the end you will have 2 weeks in which we want you to prepare a first draft of an implementation project. This aims for you to begin to think. We want you to begin to think on how or what kind of considerations you need to make if you want to actually implement an evidence-based prevention in a certain or a specific context. So most courses will have the same basic structure. So you will progress through the first page, then you will have some induction on how to navigate the course. You will have a welcome to the global community. You will be able to watch a video, for example, explaining how the community of DDR is organized around the world, ISSUP, ICU-DDR, the role of INL, Colombo Plan, CICAD, and other organizations that are involved here. And then you will usually start with a pre-evaluation or a pre-test, which are mostly the same as you would go through if you go through a face-to-face training. Then you will progress through the activities of the course, and at the end you will be asked to do a course assessment, a post-test assessment, and in most of the courses we will ask you to turn in some kind of final work. In this case, it is a first implementation project. So as I showed you recently, so in this course you will have 20 specific sections that are composed of self-guided lessons. Mostly you will be asked to watch videos, read text, do some tasks and assignments too. The tasks and assignments are usually submitted to your instructor, and you will get some feedback from your instructor. The tasks are designed to help you sharpen or develop certain specific skills we will need you to work on in order to complete your final work on this course. You will, when you progress after each content section, you will ask you to respond a short questionnaire. Usually these are 10 questions. You will need to answer correctly 7 out of 10 in order to unlock the next sections. This is aimed to avoid you rushing through the course without paying the necessary attention to certain content, so that actually makes sense for you and you are well prepared to tackle the final assignment of the course. You will have downloadable materials, summaries and presentations and other complementary materials you might need to review and to deepen and understand the contents. You will have opportunities to interact with other course participants. We usually work with 20 to 30 participant cohorts, sometimes from different countries, sometimes from the same country. It depends on how the course will be set up. But in this forum, you will have the opportunity to present yourself to others and to engage with others. And in some cases, we actually make you work together on, for example, a final assignment. You can choose to work on the final assignment together with other people, either from your own country or another country, which provides for a very interesting opportunity for networking. And then we will have some synchronous sessions. Once you finalize certain parts of the course, we will have sessions with your trainer to discuss questions, to give you an opportunity to bring in your own experience and comment on the contents, and to engage with other participants and students. As explained, now the kind of main activities you will have, you will be able to watch instructional videos, read complementary materials, participate in reflection exercises. You will also be able to share your reflections, questions with others. We will do exercises in applying concepts, and you will be asked to answer certain questionnaires too. This is a screenshot from one of our instructional videos. All our instructional videos are narrated by actual trainers. These are the same trainers you would have if you would engage in a face-to-face course. All our trainers are experienced trainers in implementation of prevention around the world. And the same trainers will be not necessarily the same you have on the screen, but sometimes you will have other trainers that will be the lead trainer or your instructor in your particular course. Also, the self-guided activities will have a lot of kind of interactive activities. These are some examples of some in-activity games. You will have, for example, flashcards to test your memory on certain concepts. This is, for example, designed to identify the type of substance that is displayed here. We have different activities like drag the words or drag drag the labels to certain parts, so you can play around as many times as you want until you feel comfortable with a certain concept. And also you will, the course has two types of main manuals. As the face-to-face courses, we'll have the participant manual. That's one given to the participants that has all the summaries, activities, and infographics and other kinds of materials you might need. And we have a dedicated manual for the trainer that outlines how they should engage with participants, and clear guidelines on how to assess coursework and to provide feedback. So how do we assess the course? You will have, well, we have a course satisfaction or course evaluation survey, the pre-post tests. We have course quiz. After you finalize each module, as explained recently, you will have to pass through a test, and we assess how that progresses. We also have short questions when you progress through the course, where we ask you how your experience is going, so we can pick up if someone is having some issues or problems in progressing through the course. We have a final assignment assessment rubric, which participants get. So we give you at the beginning of the course the actual way we will assess and provide feedback to your final assignment. And this is aimed for you to take also away. You can take this rubric with you and use it for further project development in the future, because it points out all the necessary things you need to pay attention when you try to formulate implementation projects. And also we have 7 in-between assignments, and they also have small rubrics that are aimed to provide you with structured feedback. These are examples of the rubrics. And also we monitor participant engagement. This is an example of the control panel or the dashboard the trainers have, where we can assess how participants progress through the course. If they actually for example, are lagging behind, we can pick up who is lagging behind and try to engage them early to assess why they're lagging behind, if they have having any work problem, health problem, which has been very common and lately, or any other issues, technical issues that we might need to help you with. And the way we work on the organization of the course, it may vary a little bit depending on the kind of training provider, but usually we will have a course administrator that will help you, that will take the lead role in trying to solve or monitor that the course is working well. It will help you with all issues with like passwords and the initial engagement in the course. You will have the assistance of a help desk that attends and solves technical issues. You can play back a certain video. You're getting you're getting an error message or any number of things that may happen, and they will try to help you to solve it. And then, but the main figure with whom you will be interacting are the trainers, and the trainers or your lead trainer. His main function is to keep you or the participant engaged in the course. And to do so, they will track your weekly participants' progress, and to monitor if there are any delays to reduce dropout risk. They will track and respond to your interactions in the forum. They will respond to questions and request information, provide guidance and feedback in application exercises and in the final assignment. And they will also guide the synchronous sessions. This is what I can present you so far. So we'll open now the session for the questions and answers, I think, or not. Well, I'll leave it to the next.
Right. Thank you to our esteemed panel of presenters, Jack, Becky, Joe, and Andreas, for sharing your insights on and experiences with online courses. Before we proceed, we are happy to note that we have a little over than 50 attendees who have joined this webinar today. And I see several familiar faces among them. There are some from Asia as well as from Latin America. Thank you for the investment of your time and your commitment to this webinar. I have already answered several questions privately, as they were not really related to your role and function as training providers. If you still have any more questions related to your role as training providers, you can still submit. I want to believe that you are all trying to digest all the material that has been presented by our presenters. This seems to be like a new way of doing training for training providers on an online platform. And I believe that it will take some time to digest all this new material. Anyway, feel free to contact me if you have any questions, and you can actually email me and I will be very happy to oblige. I still don't see any questions pertaining to that. Right, so thank you so much for being with us again, and we hope that you have learned something from today's webinar, Exploring ISSUP's Online Learning Hub. I will reiterate, should you have any other questions, please contact me. And moving forward, we are planning to meet with you on a scheduled basis to further strengthen our training providers networking, as well as for you to share your training experiences for both the in-person as well as online courses. We will keep you posted on this new development. One important and final announcement: 24 hours after you leave today's webinar, you will receive an email with a link to an evaluation form, your certificate of participation, and the webinar session recording. In conclusion, on behalf of ISSUP, Colombo Plan and CICAD, and our presenters, thank you for joining us today, and have a great rest of the day. Thank you.